Hello and welcome to Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's Morgana here, and today I'll be demonstrating this beautiful summer clematis painting for you. For our backdrop today, I'm doing something a little different. This is a watercolour pour. I've already masked out the clematis flowers to protect them, and I've mixed up 4 colours of watercolour paint, just using some clean water to thin them all down to a pouring consistency. So we have some transparent yellow, some sap green, perylene green, and some ultramarine blue here. I found that this technique works the best on damp paper, so I'm going to start by wetting the background all over using a flat brush to begin. Now for the fun part, pouring on the paint. I'm starting with my lightest colour, so that's the transparent yellow going on here, and I'm just going to work through the colours that I've mixed up from light to dark. And I'm just pouring them straight on, as you see. I know this looks a little bit strange to begin with, but this is very much a case of trust the process here. And of course, do make sure that you have a protective sheet or some newspaper down before you begin, as this can get a little bit messy once the paint starts going. Now all I need to do is pick up my board and just tip and tilt it around. I'm encouraging the colours to all move around, running into and over one another, and it creates these lovely soft transitions between colours. And I think one of the key things here with this technique is to pick colours that all work harmoniously together, and ideally colours that are marked as transparent or at least semi-transparent on their packaging, which will help prevent the mixes from becoming muddy. If you do end up with any areas on your paper that the paint is stubbornly refusing to run into, then just use a soft brush to encourage the colour around. And if your paint ends up not running very well, if it's a bit too thick, then just add a little bit of clean water onto the paper using a spray bottle just to give it a little bit of extra encouragement. It's also important to remember to wipe down the tape at the edges of the paper like I'm doing here, which will help to prevent any unwanted cauliflowers from forming as the wash begins to dry. For a finishing touch, I'm adding a sprinkle of fine salt into the damp areas of the wash. This will form a little cluster of pale blooms as the wash dries, and I think creates a really beautiful and ethereal effect. Once the wash was fully dry, I began adding some loose foliage marks over the top of it, using the same colours as before to keep that colour harmony going. So we've got some sap green, perylene green and some transparent yellow. I am a really big fan of this transparent yellow at the moment. This one is from Winsor & Newton's Professional range, and I think it's just a lovely bold yellow that works equally well with green tones such as this, but with lovely sort of red, orange and pink hues as well. Now all that's left to do is add colour to the flowers. As I want these to be a very delicate white petaled clematis, I'm using very pale paint and just adding some simple shadows to sort of bring out the definition and shape of the petals, and that's it. The colour I'm using here, as you can probably see, is just a really diluted shade of ultramarine blue. But you could also use a very pale green, such as a dilute perylene green, to shade as well, or even sort of a grey violet tone, like a neutral tint if you prefer. As you can hopefully see, I'm not using any sort of pencil marks or guidelines here. I'm just using the ultramarine paint to follow the curves of the petals, softening down the areas that look like they would be in the shade and leaving other parts nice and bright and clean. When creating this background wash, we did actually end up with that lovely sort of glow of yellow going along the top edge, which I've decided to interpret as the light source in the scene, which is also helping to dictate where I place the shadows on the petals. Now all that's left to do is just add a little bit of detail into these flower centres using a fine brush, and the painting will be complete. So here is the finished painting. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video demo. I love how this one turned out. I think it's just so pretty and so summery. So let me know if you'd like to see some more of this pouring technique here on the channel, and whether it's something you plan on giving a go yourself. But that's all from me today. So friends, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and of course, very happy painting.